Okay, out here at the farmhouse, bell restoration day one. Actually, I left every bit of my tools at the other house. Luckily at the farmhouse, there was a ratchet and a socket that's gonna fit this bell. Bell restoration day one. Okay, so the first step is obviously to remove the bell. I'm gonna take it and throw it in the back of the truck, take it to the other house where all the tools are. You know what a true professional would have did before they started unbolting them bolts on that bell? They would have checked to make sure all the bolts were the same size. But guess what? I didn't. And so I had one of the bolts all the way out and it was only attached with one bolt. Guess what? It was a completely different size and all my socket sets I have are at the other house. Luckily I was able to scramble and get another tool, find a tool that was left at the farm. Let me show you. That there tool saved my arse. And guess what, folks? It's a Black & Decker. It's a very unique tool. Spin it every which way you can, all different sizes. And luckily, it had a size that I needed for that other bolt. Anyway, got the bell back in the truck. About to take it to the other house. Getting ready to take that bell back and look at my score today from Lowe's. I say about what, $1.50 Irwin. I damn sure need that many times over. So yeah. Anyway, see you at the house. Okay, so there's a difference between restoration and refreshing or changing the overall appearance of something. So as we gotta wait on the bell, we do have another assignment, another project, another job, whatever, to antique a perfectly good table, which I kind of didn't want to do, but the people wanted it done, so it's going to be done. So what I actually did, I want to show you. Okay, so I went and got this attachment, gator attachment. It's a 5-inch attached to your drill, and we're going to be antiquing a table, a perfectly good table. But we're going to use this, which is only rated for 3,500 RPM. This drill actually does more than that, but let's take a look. So this is already what I've already got started with this. Hey, hold on for a minute, one more time. Sorry. This is actually what I already got started with this. Is Barbara's gonna antique the table, I'm just roughing it up. So 3,500 RPM. This will go all over the place, so you gotta just squeeze it a little bit. And this is what I've been doing to get the table ready for Barbara to antique it. So when you're antiquing something, Barbara, explain the process a little bit, like you don't sand everything off.
Oh, you want me to talk?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you just sort of rough the paint up so that the paint that you're putting on it will adhere to the surface. In other words, you put scratches in it and you rough up the surface that's already on there, the surface that we don't want. It's a veneer type surface, not veneer, but it's a wood, but it's a surface that we don't want. We're going to antique it and make it look French country farmhouse.
And the reason why I'm doing to help with the antiquing process, the reason I'm taking more off in certain spots is to really, when she puts the paint on there, to help give that old crusty look to a perfectly good table. But you know, hey, people want it, we're gonna do it. Okay, so I just went over the top again, and what we're looking for is we don't want like these areas that's not really roughed up. So when you start going over them, you'll see that I'm not trying to go as deep in some areas because I want it to kind of, that's going to give the antique feel. But you definitely want to make sure that it's scuffed up more than that for sure. So yeah, antique and stuff. you know, it took us 3 weeks to actually accept this project because just didn't want to do it. But now we're doing it. So the trick to antiquing a table is to get different depths of sanding. But it's very difficult with this table to like that spot there. I'm just not comfortable with it. I don't know what's going on here. But gotta hit that again. But I did it again, and almost happy with it because I don't want too much of the same depth, you know. So let's hit it one more time. Okay, so finally got the top the way that I wanted it. Got the legs done. Now I did have to take off the sandpaper and do some of the stuff by hand. But you want the top to be a little more worn out than the bottom. Worn out looking, more antiqued, I guess, because if you think about it, the base here does not get a lot of wear and tear. But and for me personally, I'm gonna leave that like it is. I want to leave that like it is so nobody actually think that this is a real antique table. So people will know that it was just been given an antique look. Yeah. Okay, had to move to the back of the shop because Barbara's going to start painting, antiquing that table. And so I'm going to finish sanding the chairs. Now, when you look at how you antique a chair, right? The thing is, the places that gets the most wear, like the seat, the back, is where you're going to want some more depth in the sanding, right? The legs, at the top of the legs at least, not so much, light sanding. And at the very bottom, you're going to want some heavier sanding, more depth. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, one of the problems I'm running into is this Gator. And by the way, I'm using 80 grit. But this Gator Reptilian Easy Peel, it just keeps flying off while I'm sanding. So that really sucks. I don't recommend this shit at all. First step in the antiquing process. It is still wet. She is still painting. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Gator Reptilian sand 5-inch sandpaper easy peel, they suck. I'm already on the 4th one. There's no way. Max for this project, I should have only been using 3. 2 probably would have did it on a good sanding disc. However, yeah, this one sucks. I don't recommend it to anybody. I got 4 left because it's an 8-pack. I'll be able to finish the project, but it's very disappointing to have such a crappy product. But guess what else I got that's really good? I got me some coffee. I don't know if you can see it. Got me some coffee there. Yeah, you gotta have that coffee. You know what I mean? Okay, I just had to do this one by hand to finish it off, most of it. Yeah, it sucks because those sanding paper discs suck. So the reason I don't like antiquing perfectly good furniture is because it's like, imagine you're 4 years old and somebody comes along and says, hey, I want to antique you, and they take you from 4 to 80, right? So I don't mind antiquing furniture that somebody's thrown away and you got to restore, putting an antique look on that. But just doing perfectly good furniture and antiquing it, to me, is something I hate doing. So anyway, so this is a good base for the process. Now there is antiquing kits out there, but we don't use those. And so we got our own antiquing method. And I'm not going to show you too much of it because if I did, well, that might eliminate some of the work that I get in the future. Even though, I don't know, it's not one of my favorite things to do, but it is work. So, yeah. Doing an antiquing job. I went to Lowe's. The only sanding disc they had was these Gator, and it says Pro Spec, and it's a Reptilian. It's 85-inch pads, so medium grit. They suck. They absolutely damn suck. It says 4 times longer lasting. No. One of the main problems is that they fly off the wheel here, the pad. They just fly off, and I don't know where they think this is a Pro Spec at, because that's a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, it's garbage. Don't use that. Whatever you do, do not use or buy the Gator Pro Spec Reptilian sanding disc. They suck. Okay, so if you can look at this area here, you can see that, at least in America, not too many people's butts are going to fit right into this section, right? So you're going to have a lot of wear right there. Now, if you were doing it for a different country, yeah, you wouldn't have to put that much wear on it. But the fact is that, you know, here in America, yep, you're going to need that wear, because that's going to be the normal wear for a chair that's been used quite a bit. Now I've got 3 of them done. I'm about to do the 4th one.